listening to 101 Part-Time Jobs with me, Giles Bidder. This is the show where we hear from musicians and artists about the patience, about the resilience that you need to play music in 2025 in the streaming era. On today's episode, we hear from Valerie June, who's got a new album out. It's great. It's called Owls, Omens and Oracles. I love the rootsy sound combined with the heavier indie rock sound. It was produced by M. Ward, who has made records with Bright Eyes, My Morning Jacket. We had Jim James on this show a few weeks ago. Jenny Lewis as well. It's a great record and it's got so much heart, and it's really undeniable the heart that's on this record, and it's going to give you a bit of fuel that you need in the day, I think. That's the new record from Valerie June, Owls, Omens and Oracles. It also features contributions from Nora Jones if you needed any more reason to go and listen to it. But today we have Valerie speaking about her life in music, previous incarnations of her work and growing up and finding her feet as a songwriter, as someone who writes songs every day and does it in a sustainable way in 2025. It's hard to make a living as an artist. So here we go. This is Valerie June on 101 Part-Time Jobs. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, make sure you click subscribe wherever you're listening, on Spotify or Apple, or wherever else. We put out 2 episodes every week with interesting and exciting guests. We would love to have you along. And if you're able to leave 5 stars on Spotify and Apple, that'd be massively appreciated as well. All right, after the jump, we'll be hearing from Valerie. 101 Part-Time Jobs. Sun Estrella Galicia's Dot to Dot warm-up show will be headlined by Big Special on the 5th of May at Oslo and Hackney. Big Special, if you don't know them, are excellent. You might have heard them on the new Black Mirror or seen photos from their massive sold-out show at Kentish Town Forum recently. Sun Estrella Galicia are the independent, family-owned, music-loving brewery with a particular interest in sustainability and community. And in their warm-up for their partnership with Dot to Dot Festival, where you can catch Fat Dog, Jasmine 40, Sprints, and loads of other great bands. This is a one-off chance to see Big Special at the intimate and independent Oslo venue in Hackney. 5th of May, Big Special, warming up Dot to Dot Festival in partnership with Sun Estrella Galicia. Get your tickets before they're gone from Dice. You know, I think there's a lot of doubt and a lot of self-reflection that goes into putting out records and touring, and it's that job of being what am I trying to do?
Constantly.
Yeah. Does that resonate? Do you
Absolutely. Every day, all day.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's like this little doubt. But dream, doubt, dream. Dream wins at the end of the day for me, but doubt is there all along the way. So I say it's pretty constant that as an artist. And I was walking through the area, Brick Lane, the other day, and they have the books, people selling books out. And I saw a book on display, and it was The Artist's Way. And I remember when I first started as an independent person in the world in general, I was working at a cafe. I just moved out of my parents' house, and I saw that book on the shelf of this cafe bookstore that I worked at called The Artist's Way. And I took it. I was like, cool, I want to be an artist. I'll fill this out. And so I read the whole book and I filled it all in. And I think it was really helpful. But there's nothing that really prepares you for the journey like just sitting out on it, because it's going to be like this.
And that seems equally exciting. It's like going on a bender that never ends.
Yeah.
But also absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially when you're becoming an adult. You mentioned, moving out your folks' place, paying rent. I mean, that's the first box you got to tick. It's a big one.
Yeah, it's huge. And so when I first moved out, I moved in, as they say, shacked up with my first husband. And because we were and we aren't anymore. But we also had a roommate. And so we're all artists, and we divided the rent 3 ways. And I can go back through my journals. I won't look in here. But I can see where I wrote down bread, eggs, milk, rent, phone, every single thing that I had to to do. And then if there was something I wanted to do, like back then it was, let's burn 100 CDs, I'm going to sell them out the trunk of my car. Well, how much is the CD? How much is the packaging for the CD? How much is the recording of the music? And, you know, write every single thing down and be like, okay, so I need how much? I need such and such amount. How many hours of work is it going to take me to do that? Oh, it's going to take me this many hours? Okay, well, there's not that many days in the week. How many years actually is it going to take me to do that?
Right.
And then start looking at things from a long perspective and then be like, okay, well, it's going to take me such and such years without a miracle. Always be open to a miracle. So all of that, put all of that into place and then call forth jobs. If you need jobs, call forth jobs because artists, we need to have funds in order to do what we're doing. And sometimes you kind of got to get the wheel started yourself. And so
you got to front the money before anyone else does.
Or ask for someone to help you, you know. And in my case, I didn't have anybody. So then you just break it down and you be like, okay, well, my job at the coffee shop at the bookstore isn't working. It's not enough. I can almost cover rent. Let me pick up some tables that I'm waiting. Let me start cleaning houses. Let me work at the herb shop. How many hours is that I'm working a day? Oh, 12 hours? Okay. But I know what my goal is, and I want I need this many CDs so I can sell them out the trunk of my car. Once I get that money, turn that money over to get this many more CDs, sell those out. Once I get that, you know, and just have like these plans where it's like years. That's your life, you know, that you're always like, okay. Next.
The years that you're trying not to get distracted by that other stuff because you start working at the pub or you start working at the coffee shop, like that's a life in itself. You make friends there, you start enjoying it maybe, or you know, you see yourself doing that. I mean, I've had jobs that lasted like 3.5 months, but in that moment I was like, this is me, this is what I do. So to try and think of myself to prioritize like playing music, which is also what I was doing at the time, I found that really difficult to kind of split the two and actually remember what I was doing in the first place and why.
Well, to keep focused, I have something I like to practice called the 10-minute rule. And that 10-minute rule is that I go back to my core of whatever it is that started me. Whether it's like 10 minutes of guitar, 10 minutes of banjo, 10 minutes of dance, 10 minutes of listening to music, just listening, 10 minutes to listen to the world, 10 minutes of yoga, whatever that is, yes, we have all these other things going on, but whatever you really want to do in your life, if you can't dedicate 10 minutes to it times however many years, 80, 90, 70 years, however many years you live, then maybe you need to be looking at doing something else, you know?
That's a good rule.
That's the rule I like anyway for what I'm trying to do because I've found that those 10 minutes calculate and that I get to learn more about what it is that I was excited about from the beginning. And there's so much to learn in art, like whether you paint, you're doing sculptures, you're a dancer, you're an actor. I just met an actor on the street.
Oh, yeah.
She was an actress. She was amazing to talk to, an older woman, and she just gave me so much energy talking to her.
Yeah.
But no matter who it is and what you do, the 10 minutes, like, it just kind of keeps you, it's like going to the gas station when you got a car running low. Mm-hmm. You got to do it. Mm-hmm. You got to.
It's like cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, some folks.
You mentioned, you know, meeting that actor on the street and getting an energy from them. Like, energy is so much a part of what you do, whether it's writing, whether it's in a room playing live. I suppose you have some people that you think, oh, wouldn't it be great to make a record with them? Wouldn't it be great to collaborate with those people? Have you been like an outreacher? Have you been someone to reach out to people that you're inspired by and say, hey, let's work together?
Actually, I haven't, and I've seen artists who do that, and I've thought about it, and maybe I will one day, because it seems like a good thing to do, to be like a networker and to be like able to I have done it a couple of times, and in the times I've done it, it's usually been an answer no. So maybe that's the reason why I don't want to do it anymore, because I'm like, okay, if it comes to me, if it's in my sphere, let what's for me come to me, let it not pass me. If it's not for me, like let it go on by, and that I would be like guided to the right place, because something told me to go sit, have olives, and hang out and have a tea at this particular spot where this beautiful older actress was sitting, and I didn't know who she was, but she just started talking to me. I started talking to her, part, but I knew that I needed to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are things that you feel, you know, when you're like in your life in general, you just get these feelings like, well, I need to stop. I need to just grab a bottle of water or something. Go do it, and you never know. That's when magic happens.
You believe in omens?
Actually, yes. Lots of them. They're everywhere all the time if we follow them and we wish to see that way. They're also not there if you don't want to see them.
And sometimes they're there and you're like, I wish I didn't see them.
Right. Like they could be good. They could be bad. They could be kind of just in the middle.
Yeah. How do you know which ones to follow?
I follow the ones that feel the energy, like vortex energy, like oh, like a jolt. When it's like that, then I'm like, okay, I'm going with this. But things that make me feel heavy, I tend to gravitate away from them. There was a time in my life where I felt my heaviness and I needed to stay there because I didn't know how to navigate it. I didn't know how to feel things that were uncomfortable, things that were traumatic, that were painful, and to fully see them, take them in, and then choose to move myself to another space. That's where the power comes in, is when you make that choice. Mm-hmm. And so now, after many years of practicing ways of being an alchemist with my energy, I'm able to see when something's coming in my sphere. That's something that's going to energize me, that's going to keep me moving forward in my path, or something that's going to be too heavy, that's going to slow me down. And I try to gravitate toward the things that are going to lift me up. But that hasn't always been something that I practice. Yeah. So it definitely was something I had to learn.
That happened to me today on the way here. I saw something that made me think reminded me of a bad time in my life. And I was like, okay, am I going to let this put me off? Am I going to let this put a bit of shadow on me for the next few hours? Or am I going to look at it and be like, yeah, that's happened, and you move on from it?
Right.
I think a lot of people can relate now. I mean, we live in the time where if you go out with someone, they're always going to be on your Facebook memories.
Forever.
Our parents didn't have to deal with that shit.
No, they got past it by just moving on, you know?
Yeah. So that is like a real thing. And you know, that's something that everyone can relate to. It's something that people listen to music to in order to feel better and move through those times. You know, you're soundtracking people's happiness and joy, and sometimes that happiness and joy is coming out of a sadder time. You know, I think I'm fully aware, by the way, this goes into some kind of pseudo psychotherapy stuff.
My goodness.
I'm not a licensed psychologist yet. But it's real.
Are you working on it?
No, it's real stuff. It's you know, I think a lot of friend groups that speak about this stuff now. Like, how do you get through hard times? I don't know anyone I can't think of anyone who's just having an easy life right now.
That's what's so good about the times, is that we are talking. People are talking. Maybe that came from social media. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, but people are at least talking about what they feel and sharing their feelings, and I think that matters. Mm-hmm. And you're right about songs and them having the power to shift your energy and your mood, or they're like little magic spells. Yeah. I love that. But I love that about art in general. And I love it about fashion, about whatever. It could be a poem. I love that. And that's why I feel so grateful for art in my life from many different people, you know, because it is the thing that for me can kind of shift me to a better place in my day, you know. It
is life-changing, and I think if we can say that out loud, I think it helps. You know, I think there's a lot of that thing of you come out of school, and if you're making music, people are like, oh yeah, you know, you're a bit of people laugh at you. You know, it's easy to laugh at someone who's trying to make a career in the arts, and that's not helpful.
Right. There is the thing of like, okay, really, that's what you want to do? How are you going to make money?
True. Good point. But loads of other jobs pay rubbish as well.
Right. So as long as you're willing to work and survive and make ends meet the best way you can, be honest. My folks always say, as long as you're making an honest living.
I think a lot about how, you know, back in the day, I mean, my family all kind of come from Northwest London, like within 3 roads of each other. There were like 20 members of family. And obviously like there's globalization and people move around, and that's kind of with that has shifted in the way that we like operate. And now more than ever, we're sat at home with our phones, feeling isolated. And it makes me think, whether it's art or whether it's community, I think, art plays obviously such a huge role in community. I mean, they're kind of one and the same, I think. That how do we keep on creating community and contribute to community? I mean, how do we do that? It's communication, it's going to gigs, it's being an artist yourself or being a writer.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I'm very hermetic. I like to be alone. And so when I think about that in the community sense, what is the hermit's place in the community? It's a very important space to hold a space where you're able to be alone, create, send things out for others, and bring them together. That's where I connect with people. So it's one of these things where I really struggled with that for a little while. Oh my God, I used to be this bubbly butterfly where I knew everyone in the room and I turned into this total hermit. And how did that happen? Shouldn't, more like you were saying earlier, networking and connecting. But I really think that every personality, every type of person has a place in community. And when you start to know where you can give the most, then focus there. If your energy is better as a cheerleader for lifting folks up, do that. If you're better as an influencer, do that. Whatever it is that is your best way to connect with all of humanity, and then connect us to nature, and then connect us to the globe and each other and other spheres. I think that's what you got to do, however.
Everyone can be useful.
That's it.
You meet people plenty of times who are like, oh, I can't do anything. Can't do anything good. I mean, it's hard not to sound condescending when it's like, you can just keep on trying. But there is something. Everyone can do something.
Well, I, had a record in my mind, a title for a record that I never wrote, but the record title was Punished for Trying. Because it would seem like every time I try to do something, I get so far and then get pushed back. So I named the record Pushing Against the Stone. And that's not something that I'm alone in, because it's a very mythological, title and storyline. So I do think it's real that you can set out on a path and you can be moving towards something, and that you can feel this weight coming back on you, and that it's hard. It's just hard. It's hard to be joyful in a dark world. It's hard to connect with others when you feel maybe, I don't know, whatever frustrations from what's going on in society. And so these things are things that we do have to understand. There are many different aspects to, not just one perspective, and like we were saying earlier, being an artist today means something different than yesterday, than something. It's the same thing with moving toward any goal or dream or job or anything that we do, connecting with others. It's all that, And so I like to enjoy just now the practice and the connecting and the act of being in things versus trying to look at the full run.
And that's got you through the hard times.
Yes, I would say so. It's got me through the hard times to look at things and from the perspective of small, I love the idea of small. Small to me is so powerful. I love fairies, and I love clovers, and I love small, tiny, magical things, dandelions, just these tiniest little things. And I like to think about those things, the magic that they give me in my life, but also that I can be small and still have such a great connection with the world and with others. And we live in a world where everybody wants to be big, everybody wants something big. Big is our thing. Big star, I'm from Memphis, I understand big.
Great rock and roll.
I love them. But I also think the power of small, collective small, is unstoppable. It's freaking unstoppable. It's so cool.
Very cool. It makes me think of just being in your bedroom, making some little beady thing, or making a little zine, or just making something like drawing and just being in your bedroom, maybe on a Friday night when everyone's out and you're in your bedroom just doing your own thing.
Yeah.
You know, where does the owls come from?
Oh,
Owls, omens, oracles.
well, in Tennessee, my little house that I have by a pond with my family, I wake up sometimes and I go down and well, this particular morning I make my tea usually, but I looked out the window and the fog was rolling on the pond and there was a post on the far side of the pond and there was an owl on the post and I was like, is that for real? Because we've been there for like 20, 30 years and I see muskrats, I see frogs, snakes, great blue heron,
Wow.
all kinds of fish. You know, I see a lot of animals, coons, everything.
Do you name them?
But
Do you make friends with them?
I haven't really named any of
I
them.
mean, about half of those you just mentioned are quite scary. You don't want to be friends with a few of them. The snakes.
No. Yeah, no, I don't want to. Usually when I see one, I'm like, yeah.
That's a lot. You've got wildlife in your backyard.
There is. That we're in West Tennessee. It's very rural, and so the pond is a place where all the animals. It's like their Grand Central Station. It's where they come because they can eat, they can drink, they can set themselves for the day. So in the morning, a lot is happening.
Yeah.
So there was an owl there, and it was looking in at me, and I was looking out at it, and I was like, "Don't move," because sometimes if I see the birds, they'll like see me moving around and they'll move away. And I was like, don't move, just drink the tea really slow. Watch it. And it watched me and I watched it. And then over the last year and a half, that's happened like maybe 2 more times. And so I was like, it's so odd that we've had this land for 30 years and I have never seen an owl. Now I see an owl 3 times in 1 year. What are you trying to tell me? And so I looked up owls, and owls mean being able to see in the darkness because they have excellent vision in the dark. And they also represent like messages coming. They represent like wisdom, like the old wise owl. And so I really connected with the energy of the owl. And every song on the record has a message. It could just be a love song if you wanted to just be a love song. But if you listen deeper, you might hear more.
Yeah. They're there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Tracks have depth, right?
Oh, yeah. And songs, you know, to me, they're living. They live past the person who wrote them oftentimes, you know, so they can live a very, very long time. And they mean something different to every single person. And they live differently in every person's heart. Songs are so magical.
Yeah. It's funny how you just a song can just change your mood immediately.
Mm-hmm.
What's your alarm song?
Alarm song is bird song. That's my
natural
alarm song.
bird
I
song.
like real birds to wake me up in the morning.
We've got one in our garden, and I know the bird song goes, and it goes in the winter, and it comes back, and he's just coming back now.
He
And
loves that
he's
space.
here. We've been living there 7-8 years, and it's him or his family, or it's amazing. I mean, that's the first time in my life I'm like early 30s. I'm just noticing bird song now. You know.
It's so cool. And what's cool too is that it knows to come back to that spot. Like, this is our spot. Kind of like we got our family land. Well, that's the family spot. And it's at your house. So you got lucky.
He knows it. I'm sharing the rent. He's not paying rent.
If he could just pay some rent.
Just help out just a little
I'm
bit.
telling you.
101, 101, part-time jobs. 101, 101, 101, part-time jobs. Was making the record fun. It's got such a great indie rock sound combined with the music that you've been making for years and years. The soul, the folk, and then it's got the indie rock. Is the M Ward produced it?
Oh, I love that. I love that you heard that, because many times as an artist, when we first get known for something in our music, then people stay there only describing it that way. And so it's really cool that you heard that in the music, because it's totally there.
Absolutely. What, the new stuff or the older stuff?
In this record and some of the old stuff too. It's got like an indie rock feel to it, and just like Man, the way Ward plays guitar is just so incredible. And then the bass player, Kavi Rastegar was bumping, and Nate
Yeah.
Walcott on the keys. He's with Bright Eyes and he's so great. And then Mr. Hodges on the drums. He was incredible. And then I did a co-write with this musician, DJ Kavim, and he created all the music. And then I put a poem with the music that he created on the song Superpower. So it's like different time periods coming together with different genres and just like rocking out. I always tell people it's country rock, punk, soul, funk, whatever we want it to be. That's what it is.
Music's less tribal now. It feels like the way we find music. I mean, I don't know what magazines you were what reading, I mean, when you were growing up, or like, MTV doesn't exist in the same way it did, or MTV2 even. They're less, when you look at TikTok, then you're listening to 50 different genres in like the first few minutes, it feels like. So what's that knock-on effect? As listeners and for you as players, it's like, well, we can kind of do whatever we want, and we can listen to whatever we want. If it feels good, it feels good.
Right. And I love that. I do think music in the world of how it's sold probably might need to catch up with that. And I don't even know how to do that. I
You're
don't
trying
even
to
know
sell a
how that
record.
would happen. Yeah. It's just something that like we're getting so much information so fast, and whether it's good or bad, that's how it is. So artists are creating so much at once. But how do you take that and then present that as a piece? All I can think that you do is you say, well, this is so-and-so's art, and you just let that be it.
Yeah.
Because when you start trying to do any more than that, then you kind of like shrink down the art, because the art is just like, we are sponges. Like, and one click on TikTok, one thing, you get so much, and then you go off and you go into your magical creator land, and you come back with God knows what nowadays.
So what's the answer? Is it to make what you think is good and feels right, and then wait for other people to catch up, or
Absolutely.
or not even wait, just go, and if people join in, ace.
That's it. It's that you make it, right? You just create, and you don't wait to like share it. But as far as waiting on, you do have to wait for folks to catch up, because that's just the world we live in. But you don't have to wait to share it, and that's so cool, because people will catch up. Like, that's gonna happen. It might be a decade, but they'll do it.
Do you feel that in your life in music? Because you've been making music for decades.
I sure have.
have you pinpoint moments you're like, oh, that's where people caught up with me, or is it a slow? It's a slow kind of river.
It's a slow river, and there have been moments where certain things have caught up with me, and I kind of, with the thing of things catching up with me, I like to not even stay there, because I'm ever forward. So like, that was me then that they caught up with.
Yeah.
And me now is just constantly like, ooh, inspired as I walk down the streets of London or Paris or Humboldt or wherever I'm at. I'm like, ooh, that bird song. How can I transform that into this?
So what happens then if you're in an interview like this and someone was like, let's talk about that song that you wrote 4 years ago, and you're like, I don't care. Is that how you do it? You're like, I don't care. I don't want to talk about it.
Woo, you calling me out now.
Good on you.
Well, here's the
like
thing. If they want to talk about an old song, because songs are living, I meet it where it is. So that song, when I wrote it, probably doesn't mean the same thing to me that it means today. Like, back then, it might have meant, I don't know, whatever, breakup or make love or whatever. But today it means something totally different. And so I just talk about where it is for me in the present moment, because that's the beauty of songs. And if you love what you do, then you'll love all the things that you've created, or feel some kind of connection with them, even if you don't love them, and appreciation for them. And so you'll be able to go back and be like, okay, well, we want to talk about this one? Well, we can do it. But yeah, that doesn't really happen that often, though, because people don't usually know much of my work, and if they don't, I'm kind of like an underground artist in a lot of ways, where some folks know, and them who know, and them who don't know, don't know.
How do you think you've been able to, like, as an underground artist, how do you stay like sustainable? You know, how do you live as an underground artist? Maybe it's not that much different from living as a mainstream artist.
I don't know because I haven't.
It probably means you owe more money to people if you're mainstream. Whereas
Maybe
if you're independent, every deal's different, right? But you might think you've got a bit more like sustainability in being independent.
I don't know. I mean, I've never been mainstream, so I can't answer that. But as an independent artist, I do my work as an independent artist the same as I did when I was cleaning houses, then get off, work at a coffee shop, then get off, do herb shop, then get off, play some shows. Like, I look at it and I say, okay, well, this is what I need to make this happen to pay my rent, to get my bills, to get my health care. And I go out there and I say, okay, well, if I do this much stuff, I'm going to make that happen. And if I need to add on a job, write a book, put a poem out, whatever I need to do that comes to me and it fits within the realm of what I wish to make a job in my life, then I'll do it. And coming from where I come from with the jobs that I've had, I'm not afraid, you know? Like, I know when I have so much respect and I actually want to do something around the service workers of the world, because without them, we would be nowhere, first off. I got so much mad respect for a garbage truck going down the street or anybody taking care of us. So I am not afraid to be always working on my art, but knowing that if I got to get out there and collect garbage, then I got to collect garbage. The songs come to me. That's just how it is, and that's what I do, you know? I do it no matter whether it looks glamorous or if it doesn't look glamorous, you know?
That's the town I'd like to live in.
Yeah.
The town where people playing tunes at the bar on Friday night, the people doing the rubbish collection.
Right. They're probably the best songs.
Yeah, they got good stuff to write about.
Yeah. Furry Lewis swept the streets of Memphis, and he was one of our best artists. Yeah, Beale Street. He was a Beale Street sweeper.
Yeah. I mean, what kind of life is that? You must see, you see a different walk of life, right? When you're, well, depending on what time you're doing the rubbish collection, but you're going to see a different town to if you're working in an office. It's different perspectives.
There's many different ways to create and to be. There's no excuse. If you have some creativity that you want to spark up, get that lit now.
101 part-time jobs. You've had 101 part-time jobs.
Yes.
What's been the most interesting? I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit, but what's been one of the most interesting, and also, you know, a B part to this question is I love a good work fuck up. I love it when you break something or when the boss is angry. Those days that are just incredibly painful that day, you can't wait to get home, but then give it a few years and you look back on it and you can only laugh.
Well, sometimes I would break things when I was cleaning, and I would just go to the person who owned the house and be like, I'm so sorry. I know. I hope it wasn't expensive. Oh, God.
Your precious vase.
Yes. I mean, I'd be in tears. But, you know, it does happen that you break things sometimes. So that would happen. My favorite job has been working at Maggie's Farm. That was my favorite. That was the herb shop that I worked at for 7 years. And I learned how to do natural healing with pretty much any plant that you can think of. And I'm a plant lady. I love plants. I grow lots of plants. And I have so much respect for plants as our teachers and the guides, their wisdom. Trees are so much older than us. We can learn so much from them, and they can carry us and hold us, and we don't lean on them enough. They're there for us. Trees are there for us. I know it sounds crazy, but they are. We wouldn't be breathing without them.
Not this one though. That's fake. That one.
Oh, is it?
Is it? Oh, you can
I
tell
think
us.
it's real.
Is it?
Yeah. You hear that?
Right then.
And it loves this. It's getting the fluorescent light, so it's doing okay. It could be doing better if it got the real sun. Is this not real? Well, whatever.
I'd be surprised if that's real.
Well, probably isn't then.
You know, I'm not the expert.
You know what? Why don't you try to taste a little bit of it?
I will. Give me a munch on it.
I'll let you
a little koala.
real quick. But you know what? If you eat, if you just go around eating plants, you're going to be in bad shape. You got to eat the ones that we're supposed to eat. Don't just be eating.
Because that is dangerous. You get the ones that like give you rashes, ones that sting you.
Yes.
Have you ever hurt yourself?
What are you doing? Yeah, kind of. But since then, I don't go off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Stick to the path.
So what have you learned? Say can you like, if I had like a bruise there, what would you use on it?
Arnica, comfrey, calendula.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I would make like salves, but also teas and large cauldrons of teas on the stove, strain it off, put it in the bath water with salts and oils and like do healing kind of poultices and things with that. And once you get out, just go into complete bliss because there is nothing like soaking in some herbs.
Anything like psychedelic?
In my life, no, because as you can probably tell, I'm already out there. I know. I am out there naturally. Mm-hmm. So not in my life, but I understand folks who do.
It's out there, and I wonder if like maybe you make a tea out of something and it does make you feel a bit like woo.
Well, teas from chamomile to Earl Grey to green tea. I'm on tea all day. I get tea to get up and I get tea to get down.
That's the real stuff.
I got tea. Tea is a powerful thing.
Yeah, I agree.
People underestimate just a simple cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But some need stronger things. I don't judge. But I am on my tea all day long. I learned that actually from y'all.
Well,
you Brit.
I do like the Yorkshire, but also the Yorkshire decaf. Good. I like an evening decaf.
Really? I haven't tried the decaf. I feel like it's faking. I feel like it's not really making it.
I've got a happy place. It's on our couch, and it's just where the two cushions come over, where the line is. And if I just kind of like sit in the middle of the couch, watching TV with a cup of tea, that's my happy place.
That is your happy place. Isn't it funny how you can have that?
It's so easy.
It's so good.
Yeah. What's your happy place?
Well, I think my happy place, I have a lot of happy places. Like in different places where I travel, I find trees and I fall in love with them and I go back and visit them. And so I have a tree in New York. I have a tree in Tennessee. I have a tree in Delray Beach. I have trees all over. And so those are my happy places, but also like my tiny fairy studio that I have in Tennessee. That's a happy place.
Yeah. What does it look like? What does it feel like?
It's just everything wood and very, very small and tiny and right by the pond. And I can be visited by my little friends. Sometimes when it rains, I look out the window and I see the gray blue heron walking so slow through the muddy water of the pond, just like enjoying a nice slow walk. And then sometimes I'll see like muskrats going crazy, just turning flips and just doing all kinds of weird things where I'm like, ugh, you're just a rat of the country. Because there's rats, of course, in London and New York and stuff, but these are the rats of the country there. And I'll get confused sometimes, like, is that a beaver or a muskrat? Because they look a lot alike.
The new record's awesome. It's great. It's got such a great feeling.
Thanks.
It's a springtime record.
Yeah.
It's sprung.
It's springing on Friday. That's what it's going to.
Just to end, what's your favorite moment on it? If it could be a lyric, it could be like a moment, it could be like a middle eight section, or what have you. But what's a moment on the record that when you hear it now, you're like, yes.
I love that. That would be on Trust the Path when my voice breaks. I love that. We could have cleaned it up, but I was like, no, I need the imperfection. I need the rawness. I need the oddness. I need the peculiarity. I need the weirdness. I need it. And I got it.
It's real life.
We didn't plan it, but that's the way M-Word likes to record, is live takes and with the band and everything. And we loved that version, so we kept it.
So there was Valerie June here on 101 Part-Time Jobs. I loved that chat. I loved Valerie's energy. And it's all across her new record, Owls, Omens and Oracles. Out now, came out last Friday. You can go buy it from your local record store. I love doing these episodes. I love finding out about these stories. So thank you for being here. If you want to get in touch, you can email me at giles@mightymoonmedia.com. I'd love to hear your suggestions or recommendations for guests. Send them on over. We'll be back next week with some more episodes, great bands, amazing artists. See you back then, hopefully.
101 Part-Time Jobs is hosted by Giles Bidder and produced by me, Olivia Swash. This has been a Mighty Moon Media production.